Good morning, it's Christine. It's a little bit noisy here today. If you look out in the harbor, you'll see a barge. It's just across from a new ship that's being built. It's got sort of a couple big towers on it, and it's a barge, and it's being pulled by a tugboat. And the little tugboat, you can barely see it from here. It is it's maybe a fifth of the size of this barge that it's hauling, and anyway, it's a little tug that should, and I mean the little tug that could, and it goes up and down in the harbor every day. And I was going to avoid it, avoid the noise that the tug makes, but it's part of living here. It's part of the charm, and it's a reminder that sometimes you really got to plug away at stuff in order to make it work. I'm going to move the camera now. We're looking at the McKay Bridge up in the harbor beyond the tugboat and the barge, and I'm going to turn it back around so that we're looking at the Halifax that might be familiar to anyone who has seen pictures of Halifax. And what we're looking at right now is the first bridge in the harbor, the Angus L. MacDonald Bridge, and that bridge is 2 years younger than me. So it's a spring chicken, obviously. There's a little wharf out here. Small ships, mostly military, come in and use that. Coast Guard, and anyway, there's people using it that aren't me, but it's really interesting to have it all out there and to watch it. And it's interesting to watch the stuff going on at the new shipyard. Yeah, fairly new shipyard. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to talk to you, and I'm just telling you that where I am talking to you from today, it's a glorious day. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, there's a slight breeze. It's absolutely positively delightful. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about what's out here that is delighting me this morning. And sorry you can't see my eyes very well, but the sunglasses are required this morning. It's kind of bright. But what delights you? What do you have in your environment that kind of reconnects you to the rest of your community, that just makes you stop and think and look at the history that goes back with it all? And you know, it's just kind of interesting. It kind of gets you out of your head and gets you out of your body, out of the sensations of the pain, and back into the interesting parts of life. And you know, there's so many interesting things that we can focus on other than our pain. And by doing that, I don't mean to ignore the pain. I certainly don't mean to stuff emotions or stuff pain. And I'll talk about that just a little bit later. But to distract your attention from it, that was a seagull, is perfectly healthy, and it allows you to kind of normalize your feelings, to recognize that there is good stuff out there, that, you know, this is not the worst thing that could happen to us. There are lots worse things that can happen. It's bad. It is manageable. It is infinitely manageable. The little tug that could is a demonstration of the of what we can do when we really put our minds to something. And I call on that in my program when I'm helping women with fibromyalgia, because it's not something that is going to become well managed without a lot of effort. And if that little tugboat can pull that big barge, then we can pull ourselves up. And it's not a pick yourself up by the bootstraps sort of thing. It is a take care of yourself, love yourself, honor yourself, know that you're worth it, know that you are capable. You're all powerful. You just haven't figured it out yet. And I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to teach you more about this, and to teach you just how powerful you are and how much you can heal by accessing your inner resources. Now, I mentioned earlier that distraction is a good way to get out of our low moods, our funks, and so also is its opposite, presencing. So not only do we want to, from time to time, distract ourselves, because that's one good strategy. Another equally good strategy for dealing with pain, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain, is to presence ourselves fully in our body. And that's something that I wasn't good at all when my fibro was really bad. In fact, when I would go into a room with healers, people would say to me, you know, like, why don't you get in your body? And, you know, at first it was sort of a strange, just like, what are they saying? You know, are they looking at my aura and is it hanging outside my body? I didn't understand what they meant. Now I understand what they mean. And when you presence yourself in your body, you really look down in it. You get down in it. You feel your toes. You feel your toes on the earth. Well, right now I'm feeling my toes on my balcony, but I'm not far from the earth. So I'm, you know, you feel your toes. You feel all the way up. You bring yourself down in. You get out of your head, get back down into your heart. Feel the good things. Feel love. Feel being loved. Feel care, feel security, feel hope, feel joy. That's all heart stuff. That'll bring you all out of your thinking stuff and your worry and the chatter and the distractions, the monkey mind, back down into your heart. I've always been able to get down into my heart. It's been harder for me to learn to get down further. So the next part to go down is to get into, to actually feel yourself in your gut area. And I suppose if I was able to feel myself in my gut area more fully, I probably wouldn't have IBS. But I haven't perfected this yet. But I am getting much better at it. It's quite controlled, largely with diet. But so I am fully aware of my gut. I try to get in there to sense what it's feeling. And say, for example, you have pain somewhere. I know you have pain somewhere, or you wouldn't be watching this video. Actually get yourself, focus your attention in the pain. It sounds like a bizarre thing to do. You would think it would make it worse. When you're kind of overwhelmed by your pain, we can get to a point where we almost wallow in it, and it's not a deliberate choice. It's just that we're so in our pain, it's so overpowering to us, seemingly, that we think that it's everything. It's not. If you actually focus in on the pain, and then breathe into it. So say, okay, I happen to have hip bursitis. What I do when it gets sore, which it does when I sit at my computer too long, is I focus my attention in on the pain. And if you do that and breathe deeply, you'll find that the pain gets less. And so it's a practice that you do when you're dealing with pain. Like you take your meds, they don't work, or you don't want to take meds, and so you need an alternate thing to do. Focus on where the pain actually is, and focus in a positive sort of way. Sorry, oh no. Focus on the pain in a very positive way, and breathe in and out deeply and slowly. Focus on the breathing in and out, in and out, and do that for a minute or two. Focus on the breathing while at the same time focusing on the pain wherever it is. Pick one pain. You can't pick the body, that's too big. Work on one area at a time. Focus on that pain and focus on your breathing. You will find that as you do that, your brain can't do two things at once as well as we think it does. I mean, we multitask, but there's some things that we just can't do. If you focus on your breathing while at the same time focusing on your pain, and you do that with a lot of intention, the pain will let up. Why? Because the system can't handle processing both signals. So you're focusing on the breathing, in and out, in and out, and at the same time, not after it, but at the same time, you're focusing on the pain. If you keep doing that, focus on your breath while at the same time focusing on a single pain, you'll find that the single pain does get less. I call it a miracle. It's something that goes in our brain that doesn't allow us to do two things at once. It works. It's a good tool. It's presencing your body in the pain. Don't fight the pain. The worst thing we do with fibromyalgia is fight it. We fight our depression. We fight our anxiety. We just constantly fight, and it's creating this war in ourselves that we've already had, or we wouldn't have fibromyalgia. We're conflicted with the demands placed on us externally, or at least on what we perceive those demands to be, and on what we want for ourselves. When that's in conflict, there's going to be pain that's created, emotional pain, and emotional pain lives in the body. So we actually feel that, and the more we feel it over and over, the more we're going to suffer. And so therefore what we need to do to counteract it is to learn techniques that you can do so that you realize that this pain isn't as bad as I thought. I really can do this exercise, and if I do this I'll call it a practice, not an exercise. This practice I do, if I breathe in, if I feel my pain, if I acknowledge my pain, just honor it. You don't have to love it, just honor it. It's there. You are dealing with it. That's the key thing to remember. The pain isn't something that you can't deal with. The pain is something that you have been dealing with, and that you are dealing with pretty well. But we just need to find ways to deal with it so that it feels a little better while we're learning other skills that will help get you beyond it. For now, distractions are a big help, especially anything that makes you feel good, anything that makes you happy. You know, I am absolutely happy to be out here standing on my balcony with my imported hibiscus bush, which makes me feel like I'm back in Hawaii, while surrounded by all of the Halifax Harbor stuff, which presences me and tells me that no, you're in your birth home. So it's the presencing and the what did I call it? Presencing. Oh, distraction. Between presencing and distraction, you've got a couple techniques there that you can use, and they help. They don't cure anything. They don't fix anything. They do help you feel better. They're management techniques that can help you get through a day. They can help you just feel better. Other things that you can do to generally feel better is to stretch your body. In another video, I've showed neck rolls and shoulder rolls and stretches that you can do that are really, really effective. And with fibro, we've got pain that goes all across. We've got pain on our shoulder tips, all across our collarbones, up into our neck, jaw area. So from about here to here, we've got fibro pain. And so you can stretch your neck gently to the side. You're not pushing it down, you're not pulling it down, you're just letting the weight of your head go, and you're pushing down the opposite shoulder. That really helps. And you can do it to the opposite side. Unless you have a disc injury, you can look back and down and roll the head. and do several repetitions of this. And you can also do something similar with your shoulders. I need to move the camera and me further apart. But take your shoulders, roll them forward, lift them up all the way back until you feel sort of a crack, a little bit of a release. And then down, forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. And then combine them. Forward, up, back, down. Okay, release that tension that's in your body. Get right in your body. Be completely aware of it. Do this exercise. You're way in your body. And it's feeling really good. And you do the same thing in the other direction. First you do the slow movements. So you take your shoulders, you push them all the way back, and they're down and they're back. Then you lift them way up, shoulders to the ears, where they often get during the day. Then forward, down, back, up, forward, and down, back, up, forward, and down. And then roll. Okay, and again, you're getting into this area, fully experiencing what it feels like to be in those muscles, to have the good movements, the healthy movements that you're doing, releasing some of the tension. It won't release all of the tension the first time you do it, but I'm telling you, it'll release a lot of tension. And it's something you can do on your own. You can do it anytime. It's just a movement trick. Not a trick, it's a movement that stretches and releases areas which are tight. And with fibromyalgia, these areas are going to be tight. It's not something you wait and do when you're uncomfortable. You do it on a regular basis. Practice it daily. I do it every morning, every night. And so things are loosened up. And by doing this, you're learning that your body is something that you actually can control much more than with fibromyalgia we've been led to believe that we can. So there is so much that we can do. Do some movements, do some distractions to feel good, do some presencing, get fully into the body. We don't want to do that because our body is painful. So it's easier for us to sort of project ourselves somewhere else than to actually get in and really experience what's going on in here. So feel those pains, honor those pains, know those pains are manageable, and do what you can do to make those pains less. Reducing them will help until we can get everything straightened out within you so that the pain no longer needs to be there. You're dealing with the issues that you need to deal with to get well. And when you start doing that, you'll get well. We need to start doing things to cause the result we want. And the result we want is less tension, less stress, and the only way that's going to happen is if we create it. It's not going to come to us. It needs to come from us. So that's my message for you today. Keep watching. Thanks so much. And like the page. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. I'd love to have more of you following my work. Working on this on your own at home. Get comfortable with it. And if you feel good about it, then we can talk. But in the meantime, do take care of yourselves. Love you all. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.